Welcome to the Career Discovery Snapshot Internships in Science Communications. So what is science communications, and importantly, what is it not? Science communication is the practice of communicating science-related topics to non-experts. It usually extends beyond strictly science and often includes the communication of other STEM subjects. The aim of science communication is to allow the public to understand and engage with science, and this can take many forms, such as writing for magazines or newspapers or websites, or writing books. And it often includes offering an expert view to films, TV programs, and other productions. Science communication also includes events, so things like running museum exhibitions and science festivals. It's not the same as communicating science research to peers. Science communication is about bringing science to the public. So why is science communication important? Well, I guess firstly, it encourages the next generation of scientists, but it also feeds the public appetite for science and promotes an informed debate. It also justifies taxpayers' money being spent on research. And it provides an alternative career for scientists. For those who study science but perhaps don't want to work in a lab, then science communication is a great way of using scientific knowledge to educate the masses. We'll take a look now at some industry insights. There are quite a lot of roles within the field of science communication, so we'll take a quick look at just a few of them here. You could be involved with researching, writing and editing scientific news articles and features as a science writer or science journalist, for example. And you could also write for business or trade or professional publications, as well as scientific and technical journals, as well as writing for the general media as a science writer or journalist. As a medical writer, you would write protocols, clinical trial reports, and patient information for the pharmaceutical industry regulatory authorities, and you would also be involved with the development of marketing literature. Working as a museum educator, for example, would involve ensuring that the collections in a museum act as a learning resource for people of all ages. A museum educator develops and delivers high quality and dynamic programs of learning and participation for classes and groups or individuals. And programs are often designed to engage those who may not normally use the museum or the gallery. If you like the idea of events, then an events officer or an events manager position might interest you. Those who organise events really plan promotional and business and social events such as conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and fairs, for example. Events organisers are responsible for running a range of events and ensuring that the target audience is engaged and that the message of the event is marketed properly. For a lot of science communication roles, you must be able to offer a portfolio of work. So recruiters want to see as many published examples of your writing as possible, as well as to really evidence your ability. So they're not just looking for a list of your qualifications, they want to see the experience that you have. They maybe want to see examples of where you have volunteered or where you have been involved in events, if that's the aspect of science communication that you're interested in. So look out for work experience opportunities, perhaps at university. So you could think about perhaps writing for Imperial through societies, departments, or even halls of residence. But the aim here is to really get your work published in newspapers or newsletters or on websites or blogs. You could also think about professional bodies. So for example, the Royal Society of Chemistry. So an organisation like that, a professional body like that, may be able to offer some work experience on their publication or their website or in their student-facing networks. Look for advertised opportunities or make a speculative application by contacting the relevant editor. For guidance on making speculative applications, do visit the Imperial College Career Service website, as we do have a page on making speculative applications. You could think about submitting a proposal to a relevant publication or media organisation and maybe see if you could get some work experience or an internship with them. Alternatively, you could think about starting your own blog. as this will really enable you to compile a ready-made portfolio of work, which you can then show to prospective employers. Alternatively, there are various science writing and communication competitions that you could enter to gain some recognition. So I've included here some general platforms for you to check out for some of those advertised science communication opportunities. These platforms are not specifically for students, they are for experts and novices at all levels. So do check out some of these, but just bear in mind that they're not specifically for students, so you will see more on here than just internships and work experience. So there's a number of organisations here that you may want to check out as they regularly advertise for science communication opportunities for students. You might find that a few of them are not yet advertising their position, but do just have them on your radar, perhaps follow them on social media so that you can be kept informed about when they do open for applications for internships and work experience. Just to flag as well that a number of these are based in the US, so just to put that out there, be mindful of that. They might be outside of the UK. Now, some quick internship application top tips. As I said, there's such a variety of roles within the field of science communication, so this is quite a general overview of the required skills. So of course, a strong interest in science is a desirable skill that probably goes without saying in this field, as well as having excellent written and oral communication skills. Having the ability to think logically and understand complex ideas and data will be useful in this field, as will having good organizational and time management skills and being able to work well under pressure to meet deadlines. Resilience is really key here, as is flexibility and persistence, self-motivation. All of those are really, really desired within the field of science communication, and having a methodical approach to your work. Having strong IT skills and a sound understanding of standard computer programs will also be really useful here. A lot of science writers will have a science degree, sometimes even at postgraduate level. A scientist can either start writing immediately upon graduation, or they can move into the field of science communication after several years of scientific research. So just to say that there's quite a few routes into this. There's no one standardized path. Some top tips from Craig Brearley, head of research communications at the University of Cambridge, and he was previously the media relations manager at the Wellcome Trust. So he suggests that volunteering in a science communications capacity shows recruiters that you're serious about your career. And blogging is a great way to get your voice out there, and it allows you to build that portfolio of examples that you can show to future recruiters. Networking is a great way to get to know people in the field, and there are a number of networking organizations that you may want to check out. They often run workshops, and they're often very, very cheap for students to join. So do check out some of these organizations that might be quite valuable to your furthering of your training, as well as building your network within the field. Now, you may want to pause the presentation here just to read this full quote from Gareth Mitchell, lecturer in science communication at Imperial. But the gist of it is really just to say that it's important to know why you want to communicate science and to take the time to work out which aspect of science communication most interests you. So internships aren't the only way to gain experience. Often larger organizations, so for example, the Biochemical Society, offer competitions, and these are a fantastic way to gain exposure and start to build your network. So winning any type of a writing award or a prize will really make you stand out from the crowd and could help to launch your career. There are a number of opportunities at Imperial for you to get involved with, such as the Imperial College Radio or iScience, the science magazine at Imperial, and they're often looking for feature writers. Felix also has a science section, so you might want to check that out. And if you want to explore further study, then there's always the MSc Science Communication in the Science Communication unit at Imperial. So there's lots of things there for you to explore. And finally, just some additional resources. Take a minute to pause the recording and check out any resources here that stand out for you. And there's some really interesting opportunities here to explore more. Thank you for watching the session, and do visit the Imperial College London Career Service for further guidance.